Welcome back to the Half a Day Show. I'm your host, Jay Half a Day, the flyest man on the internet, and we are back with another episode of the Weekly Roundup, episode 6. I don't know what I'm doing with my hand. Let's go.
Is this camera on me?
I hope so.
Boy, did I miss you guys. It has been a long 10-day hiatus from no content creation. Finally got to see my loved ones. I've been in this cave of content creation all year, grinding. And I decided to take some time off to go see my family in Jersey, go spend some time in Maryland with other family. You know, things you should do. If you guys are watching this video, I appreciate you so much. Make sure you guys like and subscribe before we get to the end of this video, because TikTok is still going to go away. Allegedly. We'll see. Donald Trump and my boy Shooter met down in Mar-a-Lago, and they planning to get some things together. We're going to see, which is kind of crazy, though, because like Donald was the one that originated this whole ban in the first place back in 2019. So for it to come full circle and he end up being the one that saves it, Democrats, y'all let that one go. But we're not talking about that today, because y'all have lost y'all damn minds in the past 10 days. Twitter is going crazy. Indians versus white Americans, Elon Musk crashing out on MAGA, Beyonce is now a tool of propaganda. What the hell? All of this happened while I just been quiet, eating my food, eating bad, drinking bad. But yeah, not even next week. New Year's Day is Wednesday. This year went by entirely too fast. I usually do like a recap of all the things that I like this year, but I'm just tired. I ain't even feel like doing that shit this year. So yeah, Happy New Year's in advance. This comes out on New Year's Eve. And I got another interview that I'll be doing later that'll drop Friday. Very special guest. I've wanted to do that one for a while. But let's get to the recap, because there's a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't have a chance because I was resting, like I said. So let's talk about some low-key pet peeve of mine that I have with the city of DC specifically, but nightlife culture overall. And it's the idea of playlisting. Like, I don't know if it's like this for every other major city, but I know for damn sure with DC, if you go out, you're going to hear the same 10 to 15 songs in the same exact order. And I don't know if it's because all the DJs have like a coalition or an agreement that we're just going to play these same songs because they get a crowd going. But I'm tired of hearing it. Like, if I go to an R&B night party or I go to a hip hop party, I don't want to hear the same 10 to 15 classics. I want to hear some of them low-key gems. I want you to go in your bag and I want you to actually live mix. I want to hear you guys scratching. Maybe I'm old-headed, but it's like DC DJs don't really do that. A lot of y'all be playlisting and it's annoying. And especially for the prices that y'all be charging for these damn parties, I personally feel robbed, and I won't be participating until y'all get your act together. Love to the guys that I know that are good DJs and like good party curators and shit like that. But some of y'all, questionable. Y'all might have to get back in the lab a little bit. Y'all might have to start making some SoundCloud mixes before y'all can be at Rose Bar again. No shade. That was shady. But I'm going to continue to shade. This is going to be a very shady episode because that's what I am. Honestly, I've been doing a lot of soul searching and reflecting. I've come to the conclusion that I'm just a messy nigga. And that's fine. The next topic I wanted to talk about was the idea of pseudo-intellectuals. And this is a big pain point because you see this in all facets of media today. Like, people have been talking on Twitter about how sports journalism has shifted to just clickbaity Bleacher Report, House of Highlight, reactionary content versus what we used to grow up on Sports Center when we had the Stuart Scotts and even Stephen A. Smith. Like, he's pivoted his content to entirely be incendiary and reactionary with his takes now. But like once upon a time, there was actual sports media and actual sports journalism where a guy would do a story on like some obscure stat about a player from 10, 15 years ago, or a player that's in the pipeline coming up in high school. And then we would all be aware of this person because of the actual research being done. But now it's all clicks and views, and that's what dictates whether or not a show is successful or whether or not a journalist is successful, is by how much engagement he gets. But we're losing recipes in that field of sports media. But overall, This is all because of pseudo intellectuals, people who are kind of smart, but not as smart as they think. And this is also peddled by like short form content because, and honestly, this is one of the main gripes that I have with TikTok as a platform. We reward the surface. There is no nuance on any of these social media platforms. And if there is nuance, it's often limited, and the algorithm rewards confirmation bias, which is not in itself a bad thing because we all want to feel comfortable in our beliefs and our values. So the algorithm reinforces the things that we already believe by showing us more and more and more of it. But it's rare that we'll ever have a take by a creator that gives you impartiality anymore, whether that be in journalism, whether that be in academia, whether that be in, intelligence studies or government or politics or social commentary. It's very rare that there'll be somebody that can honestly entertain both sides of, an argument or even do the research to look into it. And that is a form of pseudo intellectualism because we're basically reaffirming our confirmation bias. If I have a thought and then I search for a video that confirms that thought, and then the algorithm pushes me another video and another video and another video, where's the actual discourse happening? Because I'm just finding more and more people that agree with what I thought originally. That's not really intellectualism. And I'm not going to say real research. I am going to say it because I'm shady again. Real research forces you to challenge your confirmation bias. And this is just a little bit of background about myself. Like, as an intelligence professional working in intelligence for multiple years now, but it's like, it's one of the few disciplines that forces you to actively prove your biases incorrect, or at least challenge them. When I was in undergrad doing academic research, one of the professors that I was studying under, he called this multiple perspectives. And, there's a time and place for everything when it comes to multiple perspectives, when it comes to, strict things that are obviously right versus wrong, like, women's right to choice when it comes to abortion, or, like same-sex marriage, or like free speech and things like that. There's an obvious right and there's an obvious wrong. But when there are things where it's like, I don't know, we'll get to it. Honestly, there are things where it's obviously you can see not necessarily a both sides thing or a devil's advocate thing, but there are ways that certain conclusions that are reached online aren't always the end of the discussion. People just say, oh, this happened, so this must be the reason why. No, there are often multiple reasons or multiple explanations for a phenomena that occur. And that is the heart of intellectualism, and it doesn't exist online. And a lot of our favorite creators know this. And I'm not going to call them pseudo intellectuals because they are intellectuals. They're actually very smart. But they're doing you guys as the audience a disservice by continuing to reinforce your confirmation bias. So all of that is to say, and that was very long-winded. I think that was about 3 minutes. Learn to challenge your own biases. Identify them first, and then learn and find people that push against that boundary and cause you to think about things in a different way. Now, here's the slippery part, because a lot of these pseudo intellectuals, they fall in what I like to call a free thinker to the alt-right pipeline. So many people are, so focused on finding answers to things and solving this great mystery of life that they end up free thinking into a free fall, for lack of a better metaphor. You see this a lot with a lot of tech people or technocrats or tech bros, whatever you want to call them. A lot of people that are like heavily into crypto and heavily into like all the conspiracy theories and shit like that, they fall into a Nazi pipeline, to be honest with y'all. Like they end up straight up peddling like shit that you heard in 1940s, 1930s Germany. And it's disgusting. And it's honestly wild because these are some smart people and they automatically just point to some ostracized group, whether that be Jewish people or immigrants or, like gay people, trans people. There's always an othering of these pseudo intellectuals because it's an easy answer to a very complex question, which is life. Life is complex, and people are constantly pointing fingers. And the more free your thoughts become, the more open you become to new solutions. And oftentimes these people choose easy solutions, which is, oh, the Jews did it. Oh, the blacks did it. Oh, the immigrants did it. Why do you guys never point upwards? It's always pointing across. It's always pointing down. It's always pointing down the block, but we're never pointing at the billionaires. The answer always, 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 more often than not, is capitalism. But that is also kind of related to the point about the freaking Twitter feud that has been happening online the past week and a half since Christmas. Like, I don't know if MAGA is just miserable, the miserable MAGA pipeline, but for y'all to be going crazy, starting a war over H1B visas on Christmas Day is fucking sad. I think Vivek Ramaswamy learned in real time, or he already knew and just doesn't care, that racism will always prevail over fascism, classism, any of the isms, to be honest with you. When it comes to white people, they are going to put that white skin over damn near everything else. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold Trump said so. But yeah, like, I don't know what he was thinking. I think I have a tweet that I seen, and he pretty much ignited the white mediocre men of this country who all voted for Trump, thinking that he was going to kick out all of the immigrants, whether that be legal or illegal. Legal or illegal, baby, I gotta make. No, that wasn't funny. Yeah, a lot of these white men were very upset with Vivek because he insulted their culture, which, you know, propped up the jock instead of the nerd, propped up the prom queen instead of, you know, the violinist or the people that are interested in orchestra and shit. Pretty much like it's the beat it chick crowd 20 years later. That's Vivek. And I forget who said it, but like his whole political like tirade is basically vengeance against all the people that thought he was corny or a nerd or bullied him back in the day. Pretty much. That's pretty much his entire persona as a politician. And he was vindicated in it this past weekend when he called out MAGA for it directly, saying that you guys have a culture that venerates mediocrity. Basically he said to y'all straight up, white America, he said, y'all don't got what it takes to make all this money in big tech. Y'all aren't smart enough. You know who is smart enough? The Indians. No shade to the Indians, though. There's a lot of great people that come from these other countries, not just India, and they do a lot of amazing and groundbreaking and innovative work in this country. And it's kind of crazy that Vivek and then Elon later are taking this positioning when it comes to immigration, because it's a primarily liberal leftist standpoint. We need to attract and draw in the top talent from wherever, no matter who they are. They can be American, non-American, wherever they're at. If they're smart, we want the best and brightest to come in and help us innovate. That way we stay ahead of the pace of innovation and tech adoption compared to our peers, China, Russia, India. That's the whole bottom line of that. That's the American strategy, and it's been that way for the last 8 years. But it was kind of funny to see them taking that positioning because their candidate that they propped up doesn't fuck with that ideology at all. I can't do an episode without saying I hate Elon Musk. I don't know if I hate him necessarily. I think I just hate what he stands for as a person. He is probably the ultimate rug puller. And that's a heavy compliment because the whole goal of business overall is just to never be caught standing on the rug last. Look at the crypto bubble, you look at the .com bubble, you look at the real estate bubble, like any of these things, everything's a bubble. You don't want to be left in the bubble when it eventually pops. All things pop. And Elon Musk has exhausted immense social capital, actual capital, political capital, trying to be something that he's not. Cosplaying and LARPing as a genius, pretty much trying his best to be Tony Stark. And people fell for it, and they're sipping the Kool-Aid. The Never mind. We're not gonna dwell on Elon for too long. But so many people in this country get rich off of literally just rug pulling the shit out of people. We just seen it with the Hawk Tour girl. Vivek even got his money off of rug pulling people. Like, so many people, and we reward them by like reifying them as these geniuses because they scammed people. For all that, the niggas that was doing Forex, we might as well dap them all up, give them a freaking congressional medal. If you did Forex, let's get you a medal because you was on to something. If you did PPP fraud, let's get you a medal because you were on to something. That's pretty much how we treat billionaires. Let's talk about Dune Prophecy, episode 6. I've had a long time to sit with that, and I'm still confused with this shit. I'm going to just say it up front. What the fuck are these damn worms? Because we done figured out what's wrong with crackhead Leonardo. They done showed how he got his power. They done opened his eye up and put a thinking machine in the shit. But who did that? And how did they get him if he was ate by the big ass worm? Are the worms thinking machine? Or is there somebody in the worms doing the thinking? These are RFK monologues. That's not funny, but yeah. Don't take me serious and don't take RFK serious either. But yeah, Dune Prophecy episode 6 solidified it. I think that's the best episode of the season so far. I think I'm sitting at a high 8 for that, 8.8 maybe. But overall for season 1, I think I'd give this maybe 8.2. Very slow. It's a good setup. It is confirmed that they will have a season 2, and it'll be interesting to see how they progress the story along from 10,000 years all the way up to, where Paul and them is at. But they gave us a lot of lore. They introduced a lot of players, and maybe I might read the books. I think I might read the Dune books. I think there's about 6 original ones and then some that are spinoffs written by his son. So I'm interested in this series. It's a good piece of fiction. I love sci-fi, and I love things that really make you think and confuse the hell out of me. If a show confuses me, I like it. I enjoy it. Something that I wasn't confused about though was Beyonce's Cowboy Carter. Like, the reception to her bowl performance, I'm calling it the Beyonce Bowl, and I've been, honestly, Beyonce, y'all need to cut me a check. I'm probably the first one that said it. Y'all might have had your marketing team that was going to say it before, but I been saying this shit since it was announced, and it's on record. But I don't know why people are not receiving that performance well. Like, people are calling it a form of propaganda. People are saying, like, she's peddling, like, white nationalism and shit like that. Like, she's not reading the room. She's not reading the political climate very well. If you go back and listen to Cowboy Carter, I think she's reading the room very, very well. Even Renaissance. Both of these albums are still ahead of their time. Like, they're really pushing us, or she's trying to lead us in a direction socially, politically. There's very subtle undertones if you really listen to it and think about it critically. No, that's a challenge. But if you think about it critically, like, she's leading us and pointing us into a direction where Black people as a unit should start to think. Like, when it comes to reclaiming our genres, we can reclaim a lot of things in this country. America has a problem. She didn't have to say it outright, just that one sentence. But that's Renaissance. If we talk about Cowboy Carter, when we talk about American Requiem, when we talk about Blackbird, when we talk about Yaya, when we talk about 16 Carriages, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are so many political statements in all of these songs if you just listen to it. Even the damn album cover, like the symbolism of her on the horse with the red, white, and blue. And a lot of the discourse surrounding, like, the performance, I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. I do. Like, you can have a Black album, a Black conscious album, and still have it co-opted and used as a tool of white supremacy or propaganda. But to call Cowboy Carter and Beyonce propaganda by themselves, that's a lie. That's not true. Bro, like, y'all pick and choose when y'all want these celebrities to be masterminds. Are they puppets or are they masterminds? Pick one. They can't be both. That's all I'm going to say. Somebody else had a video. I think it was Joshua Doss. I'm not going to go too much on him. But he had the question of, why do we pick and choose which billionaires that we want to support? Like, I thought we all hated all the billionaires. Like, why do we like Beyonce but hate billionaires? Shut up, nigga. Like, you don't even really want to ask that question. You don't even really believe that shit. Like, no shade, but it's like, it's really my comment. I said it's a rich employee versus a rich employer. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between Elon Musk and there's a difference between a millionaire, billionaire. Like, you know what I'm saying? The most wealthy Amazon employee versus the most wealthy Amazon owner, which is Bezos. Or it's LeBron versus the freaking, versus Jeannie Buss. Like, we love LeBron, but we understand how Jeannie got her money type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, at the end of the day, as rich as these people get, they're still employees just like us. They're beholden to the same rules. They just reap the benefits of their talents, for one. That's one of the main reasons why we love Beyonce. She's probably the most talented billionaire, her and LeBron. And I don't care how rich they get. I really don't. If they're making it off of their talent, more power to them. I think that's all I got for y'all, for real, for real. We talked about a lot. I think I'm well over 20 minutes. But like I said, we have one more interview which will be the first of the new year, 2025. That's crazy. That means we've been interviewing for 2 years now. But we have a phenomenal interview planned with Gianna Darville for Friday. And then I'm going to go on an actual hiatus. Yeah. School is starting back up in 2 weeks. So I got to lock in to finish this master's degree. I'm still going to be doing these weekly roundups, but they might become like a bi-weekly roundup, and they'll be a lot shorter because I won't be able to put as much, thought and effort into sourcing and developing these, my commentary. Honestly, I think my plan is to focus more on my business and do more creative behind the scenes work and show you guys a lot more of like the production and shit like that. I might do more vlogging in the meantime, but just giving you guys a warning. There'll be some changes to the content schedule. I don't think I'll do any interviews until I might do them, but I might release once a month. If that. Might be once every other month. But if anything, they'll all come out over the summer. But it's been great doing these. I think this is the 6th one that I've done in the span of 6 weeks. So I've been very consistent. But I appreciate y'all again for listening and watching these videos all the way through. So as always, this has been the Half a Day Show, bringing you education, entertainment, and everything in between. I won't see y'all next week. Happy New Year.
Is this camera on me?
I hope so.